Everyone, stick with us versus herd. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications, tap the bell. And if you notice why I haven't had any live streams lately, it's because I moved them to a new channel called Options Trading Live. Link is below in there. If you missed the live streams, go over to our Options Trading Live channel. Link is below in the description. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications. I'm there 30 minutes after market close, Monday through Friday. This week, or last week, I should say, I did take a little bit of a break. We had Thanksgiving. I was sick. I lost my voice. Things got crazy, but we did have live streams last week on that channel. So if you're not yet subscribed to the new Options Trading Live channel, I post all my live streams there. The reason why I broke it up is I wanted to give the live stream this home. I wanted to do Watchlist. I wanted to do other content. I wanted to provide a lot of value for you guys in terms of our community. So that's why I split the live streams off to have this channel dedicated only to watch lists, helpful videos, options tradings for beginners, those kind of videos are what I'm going to be posting here. And the live stream planning for the day, the trades I did that day, all that stuff is moved to Options Trading Live, the new channel, and the link is below in the description if you're interested in seeing the live stream. So that being said, I'm going to go over my watch list. Let me know in the comments what you guys are looking at as well. This is what I'm going to be doing this week. Some of the trades I already have on. So as you guys know, the S&P closed down today. Manufacturing data came back weak, and it was kind of a perfect storm, right, for the market to drop. We had manufacturing data was weak, and then we have Trump is threatening more tariffs on China if we don't come to a deal or an agreement by December 15th. And we know that China, so far, they want the tariffs removed as part of this phase one deal. And so far, we're saying no. And we've been at the stalemate. Seems like we've been talking forever, but we've been in a stalemate. And Trump is saying that the market is up as much as 21%. So he thinks he can push back because the market's up. He thinks that he can push back a little bit, get what he wants, and maybe it will work, maybe it won't. We'll see. But you can kind of see today how the market reacted. Chinese stocks got hit, Alibaba got hit, Nvidia got hit. Obviously, SPY took a drop. But one of the things I'm looking at on the SPY, I'm looking forward to revisit this 310 level, 310, 309, see what happens here, see if it retests it, because we have had a very low volatility environment, and it looks like this is the biggest candle, not even a red candle, let's just call it a candle. It is red, but this is the biggest candle we've had in, let's say October 4th, October 8th. We're going on 2 months of low volatility. For me as a trader, I definitely do better in higher volatility markets. I prefer when VIX is above 15. I tend to trade a lot better than in lower volatility because, yes, you have to be more patient. You have to sit there. You have to plan better, and then you have to make sure. I mean, I think that low volatility markets do create a better it creates a better trader out of you. So low volatility market, I think you develop better strategies and you develop better plans, and you're able to stick to those plans, versus when you're high volatility market, you're just kind of picking and choosing, and the market just seems to be going that direction, and you can pretty much trade anything. But when volatility is low, you really have to be specific. You really have to choose, and you have to really get your setups right. Otherwise, you lose money, right? So that's what I'm looking at here. If it breaks this area, we'll see. I definitely think that we could be revisiting the 305 area up in here. So, I think that we would need, for that to happen, we would need more trade news. Right now, we just had a little bit, and we know that when there's not a lot of trade news, the market just tends to grind up, which there hasn't been a lot of trade news lately, and all we did was grind up. So those are the areas that I'm looking for on the SPY. VIX, was up, nothing crazy today. It closed out at 1491. I was hoping that was going to be closing above 15, but that was not the case. But as you can see here, we finally broke out of that 14 range. We kept hitting 14, and now we're above that. So hopefully we could push a little bit higher, which probably means the market's going to go a little bit lower, right? Another stock that I'm looking at right now, I do have a strangle on it, a bearish strangle. I have the 195 call and the 202.50. I'm sorry, I have the 195 put and the 202.50 call. For this week expiration, I have a strangle on it. You know, we caught it up in here. It did push a little bit higher. It's at 196.31 right now. That's what it closed at. But what I was thinking here is last week it really ran up on their Hong Kong listing. You know, went from 181 up to almost 201, and now it's coming back down. I'm thinking it's going to retest like the 190, 192 area. You know, my target to take profits is 192. So with the China news, you know, my go-to, I've said this before, my go-to when the trade news comes out, Alibaba strangles are my go-to when the trade news comes out. Now, if this comes back up to the 200, 201, you know, I'll be looking to take a small loss or try to get out, break even, or maybe I'll buy another. Excuse me, or maybe I'll buy another of the 202.50 calls if it has some legs. But I don't see a whole lot trying to bring Alibaba up right now after this insane run. So my voice is still bad. My voice is still not 100%. We're still battling a little bit. CRM. So CRM, this is going to be an after earnings trade. So they do have. I'm going to be looking at what it does tomorrow. They do have earnings after close on Tuesday. I'm going to see if this. You know, it's looking at a plus or minus $7 expected move. I'm going to see if it tries to break above this range, like the 168 area. We really need to break above the 168 area for it to be bullish because it's been hitting the 165, 166 area, even 167, and it's just been dropping every single time. And even going into earnings, people are taking risk off, and they're taking some profits off after this run. I mean, it had a crazy run from 140 up to 165, and as you can see here, you know, we're back at resistance. Got stopped here at resistance again and is going lower. It did get bought up today though after the drop. I mean, it dropped pretty hard from 163 down to 158, but closed kind of mid range there. Still closed $1.89 down, but not as terrible as 158, right? So I'll be looking at a CRM play, but probably after earnings. But I'm just watching it right now, kind of seeing what it wants to do. I'm not going to go bullish like before earnings at resistance like this. That's just not something I'm willing to do. So we'll see what happens on that one. Roku. So Roku was downgraded today. Morgan Stanley downgraded them. They said this run's priced in. I mean, to be fair, in the last 52 weeks, they've gone from $26 to $176, and right now they're chilling at $136. Kind of interesting that that downgrade would come out when they're sitting up in here, you know, near all-time highs here, 160, 170. But it is what it is, you know. And that's the thing. Like, if you look at this chart, you can see that it was starting to make higher lows. People thought that was going to explode up to like 180 because it started to make higher lows, right? It just kept kind of grinding up. Even though they had some red days, it still looks pretty bullish. But here we are. So premium was a pretty rich. Had a pretty crazy bounce from 132 up to 140. So I'm looking to possibly sell some premium in there. Premium, you know, for this week, you know, near the money's 475 for the puts, 440. $10 expected move for this week, so we'll see what happens. But I might be selling some premium in there. But right now, I don't necessarily like that it's chilling mid-range here. I wanted to see it come closer to like the 130 area and make a decision right in here. But it did bounce at 132, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Palo Alto, I have been trading as well after earnings. They bombed earnings and then they lowered guidance, so they went from like the 250 area, came down to 214, made some money. But now they've been bouncing back pretty aggressively. Even today, I mean, it sold off but came back. It was only $2 down in the day after touching 221 area. And here also it's making some higher lows. But what I'm looking at here, what I was thinking is it's going to go down like the 215 area, kind of sit down here. So I'm looking for, got rejected here at like 228 again. I'm looking forward to revisit the 215 area right now. So we'll see where this opens up tomorrow, but I'm looking for a trade in there as well. So Home Depot's back in the buy range. I actually have a debit call spread for next week expiration. I have the 220. I bought the 220 call and I sold the 225 call. So for Home Depot, what I liked, I made some money on this run up in here. It came back down in here to like the 217, 216 area where it's bounced in the past. It bounced last week. So I'm looking forward to have a little bit of bounce. And they're also not as impacted to the China trade war news. So we'll see what happens. Also, it's going to, what matters is, consumer spending, unemployment, and that will have some impact on the stock, obviously, but we'll see what happens. Boeing as well. Boeing is actually looking for a trade in here today, and it just didn't happen. Because I just didn't want to chase, and Boeing is one of those stocks you have to be very careful shorting. Anytime this thing could rip back up and just get crazy, right? So I definitely wasn't looking to go long. I wanted to short, but I just didn't know where the bottom was, and there was no real buying anywhere today. It did go from 358 up to 360, but that's nothing after it just had like a $10 drop. So I was looking for more of a bounce to short it, but that never happened. So right now I'm looking to see if it kind of revisits the 350 area and then potentially go long, but we'll see what happens. If the China news kind of escalates, this is going to have some problems, but really around the 340 area, 350 area is where I'd like to get long. Right down in here is where I like to get long Boeing. So, like, why would you go long Boeing? I mean, you have to keep in mind Boeing does have like a 70% institutional holding. People just always buy Boeing, and Boeing just always seems to go up. I mean, no matter how many times this year it's hit its lows, it always ripped back up. Sure, you had some nice shorts from 446, down in here, but once it got down to 370, it's always kind of gravitated back towards 370. So that's why I'm thinking goes back down to 340, goes back to 370, goes back down, goes back up, and kind of a rinse and repeat is what I'm looking at on Boeing. I'm not expecting any like growth or them to do amazing or anything like that, but I'm just looking for them to trade the ranges on that. So that's my watch list. That's what I'm looking at tomorrow. Drop your comment below. Let me know if this helped. Let me know if you subscribed, if you watched this video to the end. Comment watch to the end. If you subscribe to our new Options Trading Live channel, comment subscribed. Definitely appreciate it. Hit the like button. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.